Hey gang, Seafood Per Hacks here, and I just got done working out, but the reason why I'm doing this quick video is because I got a lot of emails about it, and it was about the Chuck Liddell fight. For those of you that didn't see the Chuck Liddell Rich Franklin fight, in my opinion, Chuck Liddell was doing a great job. He was stronger than I've seen him in many fights. He was in great shape. His kicks were crisp. His punches were pretty crisp. Obviously, he got knocked out because he left his guard down, number one. But number two, and a lot of people are saying, you know, that Chuck has a glass jaw and he can't take a punch anymore and so on and so forth. But the fact of the matter is the reason why I lost is because of the principles that were used for his knockout. Now, I'm going to break it down for you. And when you understand how it works, and I guarantee you, practice this technique, I promise you, you're going to get amazing results with it. Now, this is a Chinese boxing technique. This is a Kung Fu technique. So it's not mixed martial arts or anything like that. And here's what I'm going to tell you. Don't believe me. Just try it. Just use it, and you're going to see that it works. The first principle involved, now, I'm not saying that Rich Franklin actually did all these things consciously, but this is how Chuck Liddell got knocked out. Number one is that Chuck Liddell was coming forward, okay, and Rich Franklin was also coming forward. Now, the first principle that I want to teach you is begin after, arrive before. Begin after, arrive before. Now, what that means is, if somebody's coming forward on me, it's not necessary that I always back up. I can always go forward. And when you go forward, obviously, you're actually propelling yourself into the target. Now, a lot of this takes a lot of mental acuity in order to pull it off strategically, but it's physics, pure physics. And the fact of the matter is, if somebody's coming forward at you, and you just have your hand out like this, and they run at it full force, it's like getting a clothesline in football. A clothesline doesn't have to be a slam, it just has to be a clothesline. The person running into the clothesline basically knocks themselves out or gets their neck wrung because of the force of the hit. Same thing with a lot of hits in football. A lot of times you'll see a guy running full force, somebody turns around and just places a slight hit and the dude just goes down. Again, it's that force. And when Chuck Liddell coming forward with the punch, basically he was coming forward with the right punch, had his left hand down, and he's coming forward fast. You know, he's throwing this punch fast. So he's throwing the punch. When he misses the punch, his body's going, the momentum's going forward. So think of this. Momentum's going forward. All Rich Franklin has to do is connect. Now, depending upon how hard Rich Franklin threw the punch, I don't know if it was 50%, 75%, it was the hardest punch in the world, who knows. The fact of the matter is, when he jacks that punch and Chuck Liddell's coming forward, it's not really a glass jaw situation, it's a physics situation. It's begin after, arrive before. Now, how can you use this in your training? When you're training, you're fighting somebody, I've used it so many times to jack people in the face. I absolutely love the technique, it works great. But, you know, you're sparring, and usually you're sparring, you know, you're moving back and forth, you're jabbing and whatnot. But one of the things you can do is you can just do a half step. A half step is, again, Chinese boxing, Kung Fu, Silat, however you want to paraphrase it. And a half step is just stepping forward one half. One half. Now, when you step forward one half, you get closer to where this person is. So again, begin after, arrive before. In this instance, if this person's coming forward on me, as an example, he begins first. He's going to begin first, but I'm going to arrive after, which means I'm going to actually get to this point on the ground before he does. So I'm going to begin after, but I'm going to arrive before. And I'm going to arrive before with my fist in his face. Or I'm going to arrive before with my fist in his solar plexus. It doesn't matter. And again, this is more appropriate for a self-defense technique. But if you could picture somebody coming at you, one from here, one from there, whatever the case might be, it's a quick coming through half step, going forward. Just like that. And if they're coming forward on you, obviously, they're going to feel it. Especially if it goes to the solar plexus. A lot of times people want to go to the face. Face is a good place, hurt your knuckles. Solar plexus doesn't hurt your hands as much. But I can guarantee you, if I take a shot at your solar plexus while you're coming forward, you're probably going to go down. I don't care how big you are, how strong you are, you're probably going to go down if it's placed properly. and obviously I have the proper placement with my knuckles here, going right in there. I mean, everything in combat is based on the situation, so nothing works all the time. Everything works some of the time, nothing works all the time. But the fact of the matter is when you do this half step, step forward half, half, you're meeting that force, you see? Either way. And so you could be sparring with somebody, and as you get the feeling that they're coming through, you actually project through them. You're not projecting here, you're not projecting here. You're projecting through them, so you're sending your body through them. You see that? Doesn't even matter what strike I use, I'm projecting through the person. I'm not projecting right here. That's that punch. The projection punch is all the way through. It's like my hand is going through this guy and back. You see, that's the difference in the power. Perspective, and that's why Chuck Liddell got knocked out. He was coming forward, and Rich Franklin was coming forward. Rich Franklin accelerated a punch. Again, began after, arrived before. It wasn't really a half step because he was kind of dodging the punch, but it works. And I want you to take these techniques while you're sparring and practice them. In fact, get your sparring partner to practice them. And you have them come, as fast as they can, and then you half step on them. Make sure they got gear on. You don't want to hurt your sparring partners or anything like that, but practice that. The mental note is acceleration. You time your acceleration so that as that person's coming forward, you pick up the pace. So instead of coming back, like this, and in blocking, you're actually going forward. Going forward on their movement. Begin after, arrive before. Use these techniques. I promise you they will work, and they're a lot of fun to practice. Talk to you soon. So long.